Miss Ransom here on a cold and rainy Saturday afternoon. And since I can't go outside and play, I thought it would be fun to read a book. And so I'm going to do my first weekly reading strategy where I can help you learn some strategies on how to just pick up a book and read without any issues, and how to become someone who can look at any word and figure out what it is by looking at the words around them. So the strategy I'm teaching you today is called skip, think, look, and return. So for example, if I get to a sentence that has a word that I do not know, I'm going to skip that word, look ahead to the words that follow, think about what could that word be, and then I'm going to return with sounding out that word and inferring or guessing the meaning based on what the words in front of that followed said. Okay, so for example, I want to put blank on my pizza. So there's a word that I couldn't really say there, okay? It was long. And so what I did is I skipped the word, I jumped over it, and I read the rest of the phrase, the rest of the sentence, and it said, on my pizza. And so I'm gonna stop and think, what are some things that could go on pizza that start with that P-E-P, that first chunk of letters, pep. And I would remember pepperoni. And even if I had never seen the word written out before, I've heard it. And so I can then return to the start of the sentence and say, I want to put pepperoni on my pizza. So we're going to give it a try in this book, Libby's New Friend. And I'm going to just read this through, and I'm going to practice the strategy on the first page and then read the rest of the book all the way through. So I hope you enjoy. Libby I don't know what that word is. So Libby, skip that word, her long neck. I can look at the picture, and what does it look like she's doing? She's lengthening it. So I can think another word for making it long or moving it could be stretched. So it says, Libby stretched her long neck. Then she ate some leaves at the top of the tree. Yum, Libby said. Aren't those leaves tasty? Asked her sister Lucy. I could eat them all day. I like them too, Libby said. These leaves are so soft and sweet. Just then, a giant roar shook the forest. It's T-Rex! Lucy shouted, Run! Libby turned and saw T-Rex crashing through the trees and showing his long, sharp teeth. Oh no, Lucy, T-Rex is so loud and scary. Let's get out of here. Now, as you're reading a book, you can stop and maybe make a guess of what could happen. I'm going to guess that Libby and Lucy run away from T-Rex before they can get caught. Lucy ran and hid behind a tree, but Libby didn't want to run away. She liked the forest. She wanted to eat more soft, sweet leaves. Libby turned and looked at T-Rex. Watch where you're going, she shouted. T-Rex looked around. Are you talking to me? He asked. Of course I'm talking to you, Libby answered. You scared everyone else away. I know, T-Rex said, and his eyes filled with tears. What's wrong? Libby asked. T-Rex said, Nobody ever wants to talk to me. No one wants to play with me. Everyone thinks I'm scary. He began to sob. Tears rolled down his face. Look at his little tears. Don't cry, Libby said. Some dinosaurs want to be scary, like you. Isn't it fun to be scary? No, it's not fun to be scary, T-Rex said with a sniffle. No one wants to be my friend. Libby thought for a little while. Then she had an idea. I know how you can be a little less scary, said Libby. Really? How? asked T-Rex. Well, said Libby, you can close your mouth so that your teeth don't show. T-Rex closed his mouth and smiled. Oh, that's much better. said Libby. You can try to shake the ground when you walk too. And does your roar have to be so loud? T-Rex roared. Cool. Now I've come to another word that I don't know. T-Rex roared. Cool. Is that better? He asked. I could stop and think. Okay, he just roared really loudly, and Libby suggested to roar another way. I could think, what's the opposite of being loud? I think it's being quiet. So I could read that as T-Rex roared quietly. Is that better? He asked. Yes, said Libby, and she smiled. Just then, they heard a very loud roar in the forest. That's my mom calling me for dinner, said T-Rex. I'd better go. Okay, said Libby. Do you want to play with me tomorrow? Yes, said T-Rex. Then he waved goodbye and tiptoed off into the forest. See you tomorrow, called Libby. Lucy came up behind Libby. Good work, Libby, said Lucy. You made a new friend. So, I just got done reading this book and I want to think about it a little bit. And that's what good readers do. After they read something, they think. And I want to think back to the prediction that I made earlier, which was they just ran away from the T-Rex. And my prediction was wrong, and that's okay because the story ended up being very sweet. And the author wanted to convey to us that with a little effort, we can be friends with anybody. We just have to extend some time and some kindness. And so I think Libby's New Friend was a great book. I want to hear what some of the books that you've been reading at home. Okay, so just message me on Remind Me, or I'm going to put a little blurb on Seesaw that you can actually fill in. Miss Ransom, I've been reading this book and this is what I loved about it. Okay, I'll see you guys later.